Konnichiwa, Japan fans. In today's show, we're going to talk about how to do best with our buyers. Eigo desu. それでは行きましょう. So let's get going. This is the fourth year of the Sales Japan Series podcast, and we are broadcasting around the world from the Beverly Hills of Japan, Minato-ku. It is Chic Central. I'm your host, Dr. Greg Story, your corporate coaching and training guide committed to your success, the president of Dale Carnegie Training Japan, the best-selling author, Japan Sales Mastery and Japan Business Mastery, and my new book, Japan Presentations Mastery, will be released shortly. In this podcast, I want to help you to survive COVID-19. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast with your family, friends, and colleagues. We are not being sponsored by Libsyn, but we value your privacy, which is why we have our podcast hosted by Libsyn, who, unlike many other podcast hosts, have a strict policy that does not allow access to your private information by anyone. Here is our daily podcast lineup on iTunes. Mondays, the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show. Tuesdays, the Presentation Japan Series. Every second Tuesday, the Business Tatsujin no Oshie Show. Wednesdays, the Sales Japan Series. Thursdays, the Leadership Japan Series. And every second Thursday, the Business Pro Podcast Show. Fridays, the Japan Business Mastery Show. And Saturdays, Japan's top business interviews. Now, this is episode number 238. And we are talking about create reference points for buyers. There is no doubt that the pandemic has made it very fraught to find new clients in Japan. The new variants of the virus are much more contagious and have already overwhelmed the hospital infrastructure in Osaka in just weeks of the numbers taking off. Vaccines are slow to roll out, and so extension after extensions of lockdowns and basic fear on both sides makes popping around for a chat with the client unlikely. We forget how much we give up in terms of reading and expressing nuanced ideas through not having access to body language. Yes, we can see each other on screen, but it just isn't the same. In this situation, which looks to be scheduled to last until early 2022, we have to work on new skills. We know about storytelling, word pictures, and refined word selection for better communication. Knowing about it and doing it, though, are ridiculously different. I know, because we teach this stuff. I can explain the formulas and the methodologies, and the class participants get it, but doing it is often a struggle. Obviously, practice with strong coaching is the cure. We will be beginning our conversation with a client online, and this could be a new client or, more likely, a new person down at the client's company. As every April, the Wheel of Fortune is spun and the HR department nominates who goes where. The explanation of who we are and what we do and why you should deal with me, and by extension my firm, is a critical juncture. Jumping straight into the product catalogue tour is dumb. This made little sense when we were sitting knee to knee, but makes absolutely no sense when we are screens apart. Instead, we need to get their permission to ask coaching questions which will ultimately unveil needs. There is a simple formula for doing this, so there is no excuse why every salesperson should not be doing this. Firstly, we need to explain who we are and what we do. This is a great opportunity to build your firm's credibility with the client. We shouldn't forget to weave our history into the narrative and make it personal. This is not a history lesson on the company, but a base on which to build trust, and we have to make sure we are represented in this part of the storytelling. For example, we are global soft skills training experts, and Dale Carnegie launched the company in New York in 1912. The fact that 90% of the Fortune 500 companies use us shows that the most discerning firms recognize the value we bring. We've stood the harsh test of time globally and in Japan too, since we established operations here in 1963. We are way beyond all of that. It is American, so I don't work in Japan stuff, as we've localized the content, and 80% of our delivery is in Japanese. I've been with the firm for the last 11 years and have seen the impact our training has across all industries. Find out more. We come back from the break. Our show today is brought to you by our public programs, but we also do custom-made in-house classes. Now, we do them in our super safe classroom, we do them live online, and we do them in Japanese, and we do them in English. Today's show is brought to you by, on March 28, Communicating with Different Personality Styles, June 4, Disagree Agreeably, June 9, How to Present Online, June 11, Performance Evaluation, June 15, Managing Stress, June 16, Virtual Selling, Session 1 of 5 sessions, and June 18, Evaluation Systems and Coaching. You can find out more about those programs on our website at enjapan.dalecarnegie.com, and you can email me at greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. Get my best-selling books, Japan Sales Mastery, the Bible for selling in Japan, and Japan Business Mastery, and my new book, Japan Presentations Mastery. If you like learning by watching videos, we have over 1,000 for you there on Japan Dale Carnegie TV on YouTube. We release 3 TV shows every week on YouTube. The Cutting Edge Japan Business Show, that's the premier business show in Japan, comes out Mondays. Fridays, the Japan Business Mastery Show, and Saturdays, Japan's top business interviews, where I interview leaders in Japan, from SMEs all the way up to the corporate captains of industry, on one topic, leading in Japan. Now, every second Thursday, we release the Business Pro Television Show. And don't forget, you can email me at greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. Welcome back. In this 40-second burst, we have packed the content to the gunnels with credibility statements and emotive words. This initial reference point tells the buyer we are a safe option. Nobody got fired for choosing Dale Carnegie training type of idea. Next, we tell a story about a client. They had a certain issue, preferably one we think might be shared by this client, and we explain the solution applied and the result achieved in a very micro and brief manner. We emphasize the pain this problem was causing for a particular decision maker inside the company, someone in a similar position or role to our interlocutor. We briefly explain what we did, then we dwell on the perceived value of the solution formed from the client's point of view. We should bring back pieces of their dialogue with us to fully express their happiness that the problem was fixed, so that the buyer that we are in front of on screen will have confidence in our suggestions. This is a reference point for the client that we can help them. Finally, we say, maybe we could do the same for you. I'm not sure. But in order to find out, may I ask a few questions? And then we say nothing. Wait until they speak. Don't add or clarify. Just sit there in total silence until they give an answer. Once we have their permission, then we can dig in and see if we have a solution for their problem. This is a reference point that says the buyer is now willing to share a lot of confidential information with us. If we don't get a match between what we do and what they need, then no slamming of the square peg into the round hole. We get off that call and we hold another potential business discussion with another buyer. The pandemic has made the whole art and science of selling more complex, but there are some fundamental basics we have to get right, or nothing will go our way. Business is hard to find at the moment, but never find bad business. The money won't be worth the trouble, and you only tarnish your personal and professional brands. There are plenty of clients who have problems we can help them with, so we need to be concentrating our efforts right there. Thank you for joining the Sales Japan series. If you found the program useful, please work on your karma and share it with your family, friends, and colleagues. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast. Immediately apply what you've learned today. Use it and go out there and survive. Remember, I'm your corporate coaching and training guy in your corner, committed to your success here in Nippon.